Happy Monday, everybody. It is Monday, the last day of November. Welcome to What You Need to Know. Dominique, one of my absolute all-time favorite peeps, and one of the few people that I allow to call me Sibby Sib.
Sibby
Uh,
Sib.
and other people try with that Sib stuff, but not everybody
It
gets to.
doesn't work. It doesn't
No,
work.
no, no,
Mm-mm.
no, no.
I
Dummy
heard about it
Dom.
too. Hey, Sib. I heard about it. It's like, no, ma'am. Sib said, no, ma'am. Not Sibby Sib. That's for Dom only. No, ma'am. They said I tried calling her Sibby Sib, and she was like, no, and no, you're not.
No, no,
No, you're
no.
not. You're gonna
Only my,
call me Sybil.
only my Dummy Dom can do that.
That's right, right.
Right.
And when they told me, I was like, absolutely. She's absolutely correct.
How you doing, Dom?
I'm doing well, Sibby Sib. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I find it so hard to believe we are at the end of the month for November. Tomorrow's the 1st of December, the last
Yeah.
month of this year. And as most people have said, the year 2020 cannot get out of here fast enough, with the hopes of something brighter and greater and more positive on the horizon.
I sure hope so, Sib. I'm really hopeful. I try to stay hopeful
Yeah.
all the time. So I hope we're really going to turn the corner with this new administration. At least we do know where they at least know how the government works. And that they're gonna I mean, it's sad that those have to be some of your requirements for the government in the country you live in, but at least they understand how the government works. They've been here with an economy that had tanked before.
Yeah.
Joe Biden understands how that works. There's Coy. Joe Biden understands how that works. And I'm just hopeful. I know that he's going to put people in the right position. And I just hope that 2020 will turn out better for us than 2021 will turn out better for us than 2020 did. I'm just really hopeful.
I'm with you, Doc. And before we go on, especially about some of those appointments that I'm very excited about, let us welcome our youngin, a social activist extraordinaire, is Coy Malone. She's with us every Monday. And at some point this evening,
Hi, Coy.
you got to give us a
Hey.
rundown on your hair, okay? So we can get an update on that because
My hair is still running down. Right now.
It looks good, Coy. It
Still
looks
running.
good.
Thank you.
It looks good.
So is that a Rudy Giuliani rundown, or is that something else?
I don't even know at this point. We're just going to keep trucking.
Okay, all right. Let us keep trucking. Tomorrow, I want to just tell you guys before we get too far into this as well. Tomorrow we're going to have a very special show. Not that every day isn't special, and especially with the two of you ladies here. But tomorrow we have a very special show. With the Links Incorporated, the southern area of the Links Incorporated. Tomorrow, December 1st, is National Giving Day. And as a part of that, the links are gathering together to talk about the HBCU experience and to raise funds for our historically Black colleges and universities. This is the launch of the HBCU Capital Campaign. The southern area of the Links Incorporated is bringing its vision of collective excellence for programs that support the philosophy, the core values, and the ethics of community service. And so tomorrow evening, that is Tuesday, December 1st, from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Central, that's 7 to 8 Eastern Time. We will have HBCU recognitions, service distinctions, and also people will be able to make your donations to support the HBCU Capital Campaign of the southern area of the Links Incorporated. And some of our HBCU
All right.
stalwarts, including a man by the name of Tom Joyner, will be here with us, and we look forward to hosting the hour with him tomorrow, as well as all of the leaders of the Links of the Southern chapter of the Links Incorporated. So please join us and be about the business of charity, beginning here with donations to our historically Black colleges and universities. So we will see you with that tomorrow. Coy, I want to talk about your story as it relates to Santa Karen or Ken. Out of Arkansas. This was North Little Rock, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here we are in the and this is not unusual. I'm wrong. This is unusual in that
Hmm.
the Christmas season has begun so early with people putting out their Christmas decorations and everything. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
well before Thanksgiving, obviously people were, perhaps taking advantage of the weather and putting their decorations out, perhaps just wanting to get past all of the doom and gloom of the last 4 years, but certainly this past year of the coronavirus pandemic. And so a lot of people have taken upon themselves to put out their Christmas decorations and to get that Christmas spirit out there, and as the song says, we need a little Christmas right this very minute. And a lot of folks did that. And a gentleman in Arkansas did that. And so tell us about Chris Kennedy and his run-in with Santa Karen or Ken.
Okay, so we have a young man, Chris Kennedy, who decided to decorate his yard ahead of Christmas, ahead of Thanksgiving. And one of the decorations featured a Santa Claus that is a black Santa Claus, black
Okay.
Santa. So he
Yeah.
gets a letter, and it looks like it comes from his neighborhood association, which he recognized it wasn't because there was something off about the logo. But anyway, the letter was authored by an angry Santa saying that, well, I'm white. I've been white for 600 years. So why are you jealous of my race and my being white? You need to change it because you're the laughing stock of the neighborhood. And so this man posts the letter on social media. He gets a lot of support from his neighbors. They brought by cookies. They sent messages on Facebook. And he even had a neighbor that left a sign in his yard saying, love your neighbor, y'all. So they haven't figured out who it is. The neighborhood association did come out and say this did not come from us. And they actually gave him a membership just to show that they wanted him in the neighborhood. And whoever was the culprit of the letter, they basically put out a statement saying this is not who we want in the neighborhood. But it's just unfortunate that we have people that are so mad that they want to write a letter like they're Santa Claus saying, oh, you're jealous of my race. I've been white for 600 years. We don't care.
Right, Patty. Right, Patty LaBelle. You know
Right.
what I'm
Okay,
saying?
Patty.
Okay,
You
Santa
know,
Claus went to the ghetto too. Dang.
Right.
well, because in our house Santa was black. Just saying.
Mine too. You know,
And
I'm just saying.
and he likes scotch. So let me just say this. This is just another example of because do you guys remember a few years ago when Megyn Kelly said that how ridiculous it was that we all knew that Santa Claus wasn't black, and she caught a lot of flack, and rightly so. I think I'm not sure if she was with NBC at the time or it was before. Somebody will inform us. Either she was with NBC or still at Fox when all of this started about Santa Claus and also about baby Jesus being a person of color. So did anybody, Coy, do you know, did any of the other neighbors put up black Santas in in solidarity with
Now
Mr.
that would be
Kennedy?
something. That's what I want to see. If everybody is supporting me and my black Santa, put up your own black Santa too.
Yeah,
Let's all have
Right.
something to
yeah.
make fun of at this point. But as far as I know, no one else put up a black Santa. They just, dropped off cookies and sent letters of support and what have you.
So when I was a little girl, went to visit my grandparents and my cousin once in Los Angeles. They lived in I forget what the area is, but it's off of Crenshaw. Okay. So uh, they had a neighbor who went all out with the Christmas decorations, and it's there, and it had a long message alongside the Black Santa. It said, "Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, peace on earth, right on." That always just stuck with me. I was like, nobody but a Black Santa would say, "Right on."
Right.
Right.
With the fist.
And I've always seen Black Santa Claus out here in Atlanta. There is a mall just right outside of Atlanta in Decatur at South DeKalb Mall. And what their biggest thing was every Christmas season was having a Black Santa Claus. They did it every year, never changed. So this is something that I was able to see, well, a little bit in my childhood, even though by the time I saw that, I was well past Santa Claus. But it's always great to see different cultures embracing the Christmas holiday, the Christmas spirit, whether or not they believe in, Santa Claus or just the Christmas holiday in general. I like to see that kind of celebration go on.
I agree with you.
And we can't talk about Santa Claus color without talking about what Santa Claus really is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, really, he got a color, Santa Claus?
Yeah.
Really? Come on
Yeah.
now. He's
Yeah.
whatever color you want him to be. And I
Exactly.
did see, I grew up in DC, and I did see Black Santa Claus at some of the malls as well. So I've seen a Black Santa Claus.
And I don't know if you remember this, Dom, but over the last few years, we had a Black Santa on the show. His name is Santa Larry. And I hope we can get in touch with him because he is. We saw him on the news last night, and he is based. Well, he's one of Santa's helpers, obviously,
Mhm.
but he is based in North Texas. But he was the first Black Santa to work at the Mall of America, the largest
Mhm.
Oh,
mall
wow.
in Minneapolis. And so he's quite busy this time of year, but I'm hoping we can get him on one day before the holidays. And because he has offered to let me sit on his lap a time or two. So I would love to have that opportunity. Just saying. Um, so we will talk about, and one of the things I do want to talk to you guys about as we get into the season, and perhaps when we have some time, some of your favorite Christmas memories, if you have, because I did see a Black Santa coming out of a house on Christmas Eve, and that was the easiest way for my mother to get me home into bed was to see Black Santa coming out of somebody's houses off of 87th Street in Chicago. Just saying. Oh, I'm the only one. Okay, okay, all right, okay.
I just saw him at the mall, Sib. I just saw him at the mall. Out the
Dominique,
house. I ain't seen him coming out the house.
Dominique, I
No.
saw him backing out of somebody's house as we were coming up to a stoplight on 87th Street, right at the Dan Ryan Expressway. And also, I've seen Santa Claus fly. I have seen him fly across the sky. I was sick, so you can't say that there was anything else involved in that. I'm just saying. So I'm a true believer in Santa Claus, and even on Christmas morning, I look around the corner looking for things that he's left me
They
that
have
perhaps.
videos about this on YouTube too, so you're not the only one. There's been, I think it's called the Santa Project or something like that,
Thank
where
God.
there's been cameras set up and they show like different lights flashing and stuff like that
Mhm,
around the
mhm.
chimney and the Christmas tree. So yeah, that's definitely something you should look into and look up those videos. They do exist.
Ah,
Yeah, they do.
just like the Santa in the M&M's commercial says, they really do exist. Um,
Mhm.
So we will. I'll continue my life of fantasy, but this is a very important year, and we were talking about giving for the HBCUs, but this is going to be a difficult Christmas for a lot of families, and I hope that we are able to help in any way we can
Mhm.
to make Christmas as nice as possible for a lot of families. They have already gone through the first Thanksgiving, many millions of people unemployed, and we will have this Christmas, and hopefully we can do for and help these families the way the kids deserve to be celebrated this time of year.
Mhm.
Right.
So Donald Trump spoke out, Dominique, over the holiday weekend. Now, this was the funniest thing to me ever, Dom, because he was. They said that it really did resemble something like a Saturday Night Live skit because he was sitting at this little bit of table with the saddest Christmas tree off to the side, and it looked very familiar to folks that watch Saturday Night Live and the whole Donald Trump skits with Alec Baldwin and what have you. But he called upon the military to thank them, called the leaders around the world, and then he called in the press, the White House from the press pool, and they were able to ask Donald Trump questions. He has not spoken. He has
Mhm.
not had anything with reporters or anything like that in which he has invited questions since he lost on election night. He has not spoken. So this was his this was his first opportunity, I should say, and he went on to complaining about the vote. A lot of things would happen before the Electoral College meets in 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks from today, by the way. That's December 14th. That's a day after Coy's birthday, by the way.
Right.
He also lashed out at a Reuters White House correspondent who asked if he would concede the election to Joe Biden if the Electoral College, which meets on the 14th, votes in favor of Biden. And he asked Trump to answer the question, and and Donald Trump was not answering the question. And finally, he said, just answer. He didn't say this, but in his head, he is saying, just answer the damn question.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump responded and said, "Don't talk to me that way. I'm the I'm the president of the United States, and don't ever talk to the president that way." And I'm sure the reporter, had his own conversation going on in his head, but he did move on to someone else's question. But he had this opportunity, and people are treating him like the average citizen he's about to become.
He should have been treated like that all along to me.
Right.
Because he was acting like an average citizen. I could have said sort of ways I could have done better at being the president than him. It's just like Donald Trump is at the point to me where somebody need to tell Don Jr. and them, Don Jr., Eric, Ivanka, and them, go get your father.
Right.
You know, when the parent out, y'all need to get your father.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so ready for him to go home. I'm so tired of seeing his face, hearing his mouth. I'm tired of him lying about everything. I cannot wait till the 20th so the news can stop constantly reporting on Donald Trump. He is crass, and I am so happy that he is going home to do whatever he's going to do with the rest of his life. Well, go to jail because we know he got to see those people in New York. We don't know how that's going to turn out. Most people that have to deal with the state of New York criminally, it doesn't work out well.
Not at all.
Not at all. Whenever anybody has to go, the state of New York versus, and if it's your name, it's a done deal.
They don't care if you didn't do it. You were going to jail.
Hey, Coy, even if you didn't do it, you're going to do some time for being accused of it, okay?
Okay. Exactly. And especially you guys with this sister attorney general. The state attorney general, do not take your eyes off of this woman. Letitia James is her name. Don't forget it. And don't forget what she has the power to do. She is the head lawyer, the head attorney general for the state of New York. She's the one that is going to be following up on all of these charges. Beyond Manhattan, she's going to be behind the state's charges against
him. And she's waiting on him. And he needs to get some mental help because he is mentally ill. You know, I thought they should have invoked the 25th Amendment a long time ago because he is mental. If he's not mental, he acts like it then. You know what I'm saying? The things that he says is just crazy to me. And it's time for him to, I don't even care if he doesn't talk. He's not doing anything anyway. Go play golf. He checked out after he realized he wasn't going to win. He checked out and he went on this barrage of lies because he's a grifter and these people packing his pockets because he got 70-something million people to believe that this whole election was a fraud and that it was stolen. And I'll just be glad when Donald Trump is gone. And every time he talks, I think about what Lyndon Baines Johnson said. He had a statement, when he was asked about, in his statement, he said that if you can convince the poorest white man that he's better than the best black man, you can pick his pockets clean because it'll give him somebody to look down on.
Yep.
And Donald Trump, the people that follow him, in about 10 years, they're going to be a Netflix special. I hate to say it. They're going to be right on the net. I didn't realize until I gave him $7 million. Right. They're going to be right on.
My worthy.
And I gave all of my savings to him.
No.
And he was a grifter. I'm like, you better go ahead on with it. So I'm just tired of hearing his mouth. And
you make a great comparison. Do you know the term grifter, Coy?
I've heard of it before.
Okay. There was a movie, probably, I don't want to say before she was born, Dom, but it goes back a long way. And Angelica Houston, I think, was in it, and some other folks. And it's about people who set up people and do what Donald Trump is being accused of doing, of bamboozling them out of their money and then moving on to another setup, and they're grifters and move around the country, around the world in order to bilk people out of their money and their life savings and what have you.
Oh, we call that in the club world, club promoters. They have you waiting outside forever. I think this is about to be a jumping party. You get inside and there's 3 people. I have paid you money, and then they move on to the next club. Yeah, club promoter.
Yeah. Coy, I had that experience when I first moved to LA, right? So, I'm coming from New York, so I'm raw. I don't know anything about being quote unquote Hollywood, and they had this red rope. And so I walked to the front like I usually do. He's like, you got to get in line. I'm like, no, I'm on the show. You still got to get in line. So I looked on my phone and said, tell Jesse to come out here. I ain't getting in no line. I'm here. Jesse told me to come down here. I got in there and it was empty. I couldn't wait to get on the microphone to talk about how empty and that foolishness you got going on in the club, empty, trying to get people to come like it's cracking, a whole illusion of it.
Right.
The whole illusion. Then I left after I got on stage. She was like, well, why y'all leaving? We blowing this whack joint. We ain't sitting up here.
Now, did you get paid?
No, it was a free. No, it was no. See, it was for the love. That was for the love.
Okay.
I was trying to let the people know in LA that old girl is a little bit funny, so that was for the love. See.
Yeah,
you got to do some of those shows sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do a lot of them.
But Dom, you learned so much, and especially like your history of like working with folks in the business. Like, tell people about your relationship with Tracy Morgan and folks like that. And you do a great Tracy Morgan, by the way. So maybe I'm just asking you, Tracy Morgan.
I met Tracy years ago in New York. And Tracy, I went to see him perform one time. He was like, yo, this when I first started, right? The club packed. Tracy still wearing the propeller hat. It's like, yo, you want to go up, Ma? And I looked at all them people. I'm like, nah, I ain't ready for all this. I done just done a few open mics. You pushing me too far. But he did, he taught me so much. And really, really, he introduced me to the white audience, because I had only been doing urban audiences. And with him being on Saturday Night Live, he would do Carolines. And I did Carolines. And he was like, yo, go out there, do your time, Ma. And then you come back here and we going to drink all night. That's when he used to drink, back in those days. And I went out there and he told me, he said, I'm gonna put you in this movie, yo, and be ready, because ain't gonna be no contract or none of that. You gonna get paid. I'm gonna make sure you get paid. Listen. I'm gonna make sure you get paid. And I was at Caroline's, because after I went to Caroline's with Tracy, I was able to work the club after that. So his driver, they was like, Big Jim here, Tracy's driver here for you. And I was like, what? What Big Jim doing here? Big Jim was like, yo, Tracy said, bring you to the movie set. I got there. He was like, what I tell you, Ma? We stars out here, yo. We stars, Ma. But he really, really, he in your journey, you always have people that bless you.
Yeah.
My grandmother would always say, you need a help. Everybody needs a helping hand.
That's
right.
right.
You self-made, but you've been self-made with a lot of helping hands.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People might not even know who they are. It can be the lady that lived next door to you her whole life. Yeah. Your whole life was that helping hand that you needed. So he really, really put me in front of those audiences. And when I first got in front of those white audiences, I was bombed. He was like, what you doing, yo? Explain to me, what are you doing right now? I was like, man, I don't say the same jokes, B. Don't ever not change your set. And once I saw him go out there and that stuff he was saying, I said, yeah, I've been thinking too hard. Because this is definitely an urban show.
Yeah. She has great stories, Coy. I'm telling you, there's nothing like a Dominique treating you to a Tracy Morgan story with impersonation included. So
I worked with him after he had the accident, right? And he still
you guys came together.
We came together after the accident, and he's sitting up there. He walking up the stairs. He like, you hear that? And I did hear something cracking, right? I said, yeah, that's my leg, yo. I'm injured for life, yo. They said it's gonna crack forever, B. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. It's gonna crack forever. He just kept telling me jokes. I'm like, this is not what you saying. It sound funny, and you don't want to laugh because he injured. But you like.
Right.
Somebody walked up to me. He's like, yo, who is it? I can't even see like that no more. I was like, I don't want to laugh at this stuff. Stop it, Tracy. And I love Tracy, and that's my brother. He's been so good to me.
Oh, that is a great story. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. We need to laugh, and we are really at a point now. You are right in the thick of it, Coy, and Dominique. I don't know how much attention you are getting, how much information you're getting on the West Coast, but a week from today ends voter registration in the state of Georgia. This is really important. Okay, the voter registration ends on December 7th. Then a week from that day, that's December 14th, as I said, that's the day after Coy's birthday. Then we have the beginning of early voting and December 14th, as I said. So, and then the last day to vote is January 5th, the runoff election, 2 seats in the state of Georgia. We cannot emphasize this enough. Donald Trump, as we just mentioned, speaking for the first time, is scheduled to go to Georgia this weekend and support the two Republicans in those runoff elections. Both of those senators are in that seat for right now, and it is up to people of Georgia to decide how the balance of the United States Senate will be. What will it lean more towards the Republicans or will it lean more towards the Democrats? Because right now the Republicans are leading 50 seats for the Republicans, 48 for the Democrats. That means Mitch McConnell stays in power. That's the bottom line. He stays as Senate Majority Leader. If the two Democrats are able to pull off these runoff elections, and they're at this point because neither Republican was able to get that 50% plus one vote in the general election in November. So if they pull this off and those 2 seats are taken by the Democrats, that means that it is even. It's 50 to 50, and the new vice president will be making the calls on those very important votes. And that is so vitally important, as you know, if there are going to be any changes in the United States Senate and for this country, for the good of this country. And a lot of bills that we're trying to figure out, how come we can't get the John Lewis voter bill? How come we can't get coronavirus? How come we can't get coronavirus stimulus packages? How come we can't get you name it, whatever has been on sitting has been sitting on Mitch McConnell's desk. And because he is the Senate Majority Leader, he makes the call on what happens, just as he did for 6 years of the Barack Obama 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that, okay? So it's very important that you folks think about it. And Coy, what's really important is young people such as yourself. You're a little bit older than this, but young people who will be 18 by January 5th are now eligible to register to vote. And there's over 20,000 young people in the state of Georgia. And as we learned a couple of weeks ago, there's hundreds of thousands of people who were registered to vote, were eligible to vote, and did not. They did not vote.
Yep.
And even if you did vote, check your registration. Check your registration. Go and check your registration. Make sure that there's been no funny work going on, because even though Raffensperger has been concentrating on the presidential votes, a lot of things could have happened in the meantime. We had a young woman off of, what was it, TikTok last week, and she had a special message out to Black folks, Black women especially, how that day she works for voter in the voter office, in the vote office, and she said that day she had purged 11 people, and 10 of them were Black women.
Mm.
Yeah, that's happening here in Georgia. People are getting purged from the system and finding out that they're no longer registered. So I encourage
Wow.
everybody that is a resident to check your registration status. That's a tongue twister.
Yes,
Check
ma'am.
your registration status once more, just to make sure that you are in fact registered
And do
at
it
your current
now.
address.
Yeah.
Do it now. Because
Yeah.
when the runoff election happens and you show up and you're not registered, we don't have a system in place where you can register and vote on the same day. You have to already be registered. So go ahead and take that time. And for all these people that think they so grown because you're 18, oh yeah, I'm grown now. Yeah, you need to do a grown thing and go vote.
Yes.
For you. Absolutely. Our friend Michael Stallworth adds that if Democrats cannot flip those two seats, there will be no stimulus package.
No, it
Yep.
won't be.
And
And
that's
in
another.
addition to that, on the ballot for Georgia residents
Mhm.
is an item on there talking about the stimulus package specifically. So, in addition to voting for 2 new Senate seats, we are voting on a new stimulus package. And I know there's another item on the ballot. However, a lot of people may not know that. So, you definitely need to show up and vote.
Right. Absolutely. This is so important.
Oh,
Everybody.
it gets on my nerves. The whole runoff thing gets on my nerves. And you know why? Because I just don't like the way, I don't even think it has to be, I don't like that it has to be a runoff. And it gets on my nerves because everywhere else, whoever has the most vote, like let's take sports, whoever has the most points wins.
Mhm.
Yep.
Whoever had the most votes on election night should have won.
Yeah.
You know, it's just I don't even like the whole runoff situation because it seems like it's like they're trying to set you up on the low. You know what I'm saying?
But Dominique, this gives people that extra time to weed through, because like the race in which Reverend Warnock was running against Kelly Loeffler and 18 other people, many of them Republicans. And so it winnows out, gets rid of, separates the chaff from the wheat and all of that,
Understand.
and gets to it. So I get it. I get it. Even in my little town, there's a runoff for city council, and it's like, really, are we doing this? But this is so vitally important, and I'm glad that
It is.
it is.
Yep.
And Dom, and especially because like with Coy is there. You and I are in other parts of the country, but we can still get involved. We can still encourage people that we know
Absolutely.
to vote and to do whatever they can to work on these campaigns, however they feel that they would like to be involved.
And I think Georgia will get it done. I think they will.
Yep. And we're still working on
I think
new
so.
campaign PSA with Get Your Booty to the Poll, who have
Yeah.
launched a fundraiser because this next PSA is not cheap. It's not free. We want to get the message out to everyone. So everyone that loved that PSA, that liked it, that really encouraged the message and spread the message, check out my social media after the show. I will be posting some updates on my stories on how you can contribute to the fundraiser for Get Your Booty to the Poll.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna. Yeah, because you know that video. I love that video. I was like, "This is what I'm talking about."
Yes,
It was so
it got booty to the
innovative.
polls.
Yes,
It was.
it did. It was so
Really.
innovative, and I really was like, "This is dope," and it's outside the box.
Right.
And I donated my money for the Reverend Warnock and Osthoff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dom,
'cause
a
I
lot
wanted
of
to be one.
people in the chat are agreeing with you about the runoff, I guess. And people not really, seeing not feeling the runoff and what it means and what they just want. But I think we have a lot of just election fatigue.
Yes.
I think that
Yes.
I think we have a fatigue period. The whole year has been really hard. It's been really tiring. And
Yep.
so we are just, everybody I think is just tired in their own different kind
Yeah.
of way.
But if we can use like another sports analogy, it's like if you are in a marathon and you've been practicing and running this, working all of these muscles and, working up to the 26 miles, and you may have worked up to 20 miles in your practice sessions up to the marathon. And you get to that 20th mile and you just know you just got to put whatever you have into it. Whether you're a football player, like with, what was it, Emmett? He broke his shoulder during the game, and he still went out there and played back in the day for the Cowboys. I know you don't like Cowboy talk, but all of those people, whether they broke something or whatever, and you just keep pushing and keep pushing, and that's where we are. We're probably at the 25th mile, but just take everything we
Keep
have,
pushing.
everything we got,
On the last leg.
pushing. Yeah. And
Second wind.
and do what and suck it up and let's go, because there's so much at stake.
Because Joe Biden's presidency will be for naught. They'll
That's
go
right.
right back to the party and know, like they did with President Obama.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing that people have to understand. Without the Senate, it's all for naught.
Without the Senate, we ain't in it.
We not in it, Coy. You right about that. We not in it.
Because here, look at this.
Not in.
if the Republicans are running the Senate and the conservatives are running the Supreme Court, and
Yeah.
the only thing that the Democrats have is the House and the White House. How
It's
much?
not enough.
It's not.
Not
It's
enough.
not. It's not enough.
It's
Absolutely.
not enough.
So we've also had enough of this COVID talk. A lot of folks, but the one interesting thing that came out of the conversation this weekend is we do every day. We have a coronavirus update, and one of the things that came out of the conversation yesterday on one of the Sunday chat shows is Dr. Anthony Fauci, who is now, for all intents and purposes, he is America's doctor, and especially as we're dealing with this, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
he said, uh, no matter where you've been or what you've done, especially if you've been with people, I don't care what kind of mask you had, I don't care what kind of social distancing, assume that you have picked up the coronavirus over the weekend if you were with people that you had not been with before or in a long.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
think about this from the time that you saw them or started your journey. Think about quarantining for the next 2 weeks and getting tested in order, because that's what this is going to look like when all of those people who did not follow the suggested activities of staying inside or staying with your small group of people, not going with folks that you haven't seen in a long time, and doing your holiday fare. So it'll be interesting to see how that all goes. And I'm not sure what you think about that, Dom, but I know you've been very careful, but you've also been out there on the road. So what do you think of that?
So I've been on the road, but I've been back for a while. So when I came back, I quarantined myself. I try to follow all the rules. So but I haven't been around anybody. You know, I go to the store, see if I stay at home. I did see my cousin, but I have seen my cousin over the course of the whole coronavirus anyway, and he's on the same page that I'm on. You know, that's the scariest thing about me is you don't know people, they don't think like you.
Right.
So you might be doing your social distance and staying away from people as much as you possibly can. And then you have a friend that's been just kicking it, going haywire. And then they come over, you know, they having them a good time. They living their best life.
Yeah.
Going on trips, traveling. I have friends going on trips and I'm like, well, what you going to see? You know what I mean? What you doing? And those kind of things. And then I do have to take into account for my career, I travel a lot. So time spent at home to me isn't bad. Being in the house for me isn't really, really that hard because I'm not at home a lot. So when you live that kind of life, it's not that hard for me. But I just didn't understand like why people had to travel and just go and be in crowds for Thanksgiving, because the way I looked at it is we have had a lot of Thanksgivings. And I know it's been hard. We haven't seen our loved ones and been able to do the things that we're accustomed to. But if it's for the better good, let's just chill out and see if we can make a turn, you know, turn a corner and start going in the right direction. And we've been eating all year. I had Thanksgiving in March. Once they quarantined us in March, I said, well, I might as well make a Thanksgiving dinner. I'm in here. Let me try my hand with my turkey and maybe things will be better in November. But I just think if it's for the Christmas too, you know, I don't think we need to do a whole lot of celebrating for Christmas. You know, Coy can have her 3 people. I know her birthday coming. She's going to have her 2 people. But I mean, you know, I just think if it's going to help us turn a corner and you know, get out of this pandemic, or, you know, get the numbers going into a positive direction, I think we can say, okay, I'm not going to do this big celebration. But then when you're in a country with a lot of people that think it's a hoax too, I mean, how do you combat that? It's a lot of people that don't even think it's real.
Right. Well,
It's definitely real.
Let's ask a young person
It's real.
who was out there among them. Who, no matter how often she gets tested, she still went and traveled a bit. Let's
I traveled once.
Coy said just one time.
One time. So
and how many places did you go in that one travel?
I went to 2 different places. So I went to I was in Biloxi, Mississippi, and I went over to New Orleans, which was so funny. When we went to New Orleans, you know, there's still people hanging out on Bourbon Street in French Quarter like it ain't nothing, drunk, hanging on each other. Their masks was hanging off their ear. And I literally sat in the car and I said, you know what? We can people watch from inside. I do not have to get out because I don't know what the heck is going on here. I did go out to eat a couple of times. But other than that, socially distanced, even on the beach in Biloxi, wore a mask, even when people were walking by. I just didn't want to risk it. And I did see where there are people out there that just don't care. I know some people that have, that have had birthday parties and have been in clubs that are still packed wall to wall with people, no mask in sight anywhere. So I have modified a little bit of the things that I like to do, including skating. I haven't been in a few weeks and it sucks. And, I might have to, pray about it again tonight. And hey, do I want to go? Is it a good, night to go? I don't know. But there are a lot of people that just haven't been taking precaution. And I've been, taking that into consideration with the things that I like to do and the things that I do have going on. And I've made those modifications. But, so far, COVID negative, which is a great thing and a blessing, a big blessing as well. But I do feel for those people that are just going out there willy-nilly and just saying, well, we have to catch it at some point in time. And yes, we do have to develop immunity, but I don't think it's great to put yourself at risk for having to have something like a respirator or, lifelong ailments that are attached to COVID-19. It is a real thing. Even if I personally think that it was something that was created in a lab with something that already existed. So I'm one of those people that do believe some of the conspiracies with it. However, it is a real thing. And whether or not there's an agenda behind it, which is another discussion, it is getting people sick. And there are people that are dying from this.
That's right. Dominique, on a lighter note, if I might, one of the reasons that I wanted you to come on today is because I was looking at some of your social media as well as that of other folks and wanted to talk, because I know you are a boxing fan, and wanted to talk about the fight that took place this weekend. And there were we're talking about two different fights, right? We're talking about the Mike Tyson and Roy Jones fight. And the second fight was with Nate Robinson, the former basketball player. Right? And he fought against, I don't know who.
And nobody knows his name.
Okay.
he's just an internet sensation. I don't know. Nobody knows his name.
So he's an internet sensation now, and this is his second fight.
It is.
So Brian Scott on Facebook says we can't get knocked out like Nate Robinson in our voting.
That was good.
we gotta stay on top of this. So Coy, did you watch the fights?
I did. I got a chance to watch it at home because I got it like that. And oh my gosh. Okay, so the fight with Nate Robinson, I feel bad for this man because he talks so much junk about going into this fight and ended up in a sleeper cell. It was bad. He went out bad. He should have just took the TKO and walked on when he got hit hard, the first time. With the Roy Jones Jr. fight versus Mike Tyson, I enjoyed that. I wish that it was a full-on fight because it was just an exhibition. So they had a different set of rules. Like if one of them started bleeding, they would stop the fight, things like that. I was looking for Mike Tyson to knock Roy Jones Jr. out. I was waiting on that. Mike Tyson has gotten a little slow as he's gotten older.
They're both over 50, correct?
Yeah, but to me, he fights now more
like
you don't George Foreman.
This, but things will definitely, not only do they fall, they slow down.
Yeah, but he moves like George Foreman to me, who has always had a slower stance, but still had those power punches. So I was waiting on Mike Tyson to do him in, but exhibition and rules and blah blah blah, and it was a draw.
Well, but it's not good. It's not good for somebody in their 50s to get knocked out. That wouldn't have been good.
Right.
And
it's like getting coronavirus after 50. He's like, I've been able to fight all this other stuff. The rules are different here. And so, Dominique, one of the things that I always loved was your conversations with Tom about the fights. Because Tom, fancies himself as a as a fighter. And so give us your take on these two fights.
Okay, Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. Roy Jones, the whole time, the way he kept walking through his corner, he was like, "I'm not even gonna make it to 8 rounds." He was
said that at one point. He said,
yes,
go home.
I'm gonna have to go home. He was tired, but one thing I like about Roy Jones, he knew not to let him hit him. He told the referee, "No, I got to tie him up. He not to be." I'm 50 years old, but I got to hold his arm. And I'm gonna tell you, Mike Tyson. I said, I'm telling you, age is no joke. I remember when Mike Tyson used to wear them shorts, them same shorts, and he used to look cut up. Them look like some granddaddy boxers. Look at Mike Tyson with these twisted granddaddy boxers. Somebody fix his shorts. Got him looking like a little. And Roy Jones, Roy Jones shorts looked like he had on, like he needed. His was so heavy, like his legs was gonna get cold. I said, Roy Jones looked like he made his with a blanket or something.
He needed something to cover him up.
Like he needed something to cover him up. But it was a spark of nostalgia, and it really let me know how old I was. Because I was like, I remember when they were in their prime. Look at them both out there walking out there like this in the corner, giving them instructions. You can't tell they don't need no instructions.
Right.
They doing what they can do. And then you hit them with the uppercut. Mike Tyson was like, okay, give me some water. Roy Jones is like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna hit him with the jab. Roy Jones, and this was Roy Jones' favorite punch, the turn with the head. But when you 50, it was hilarious. It really was comedy for me. He was like, and a little bit, he tried to give us some sparks of the old Roy Jones. He danced a little bit. And then I said, and Mike Tyson said, we're going to do a rematch. Well, that would need to be for free. Because I don't think it's going to get no better. Roy Jones did his interview like this. I said, look at him standing up there like the lady from Tyler Perry movie. With his arms like, yeah, I did. I don't believe in the draw. Only thing I wear is draws. I said, Lord, this an old man fight.
Sore old man loser.
Ooh, wait. Then Mike Tyson said, y'all worry about him. What about me? I'm old too. I said, if this ain't some old uncle fight, but it was good to see them. It was a spark of nostalgia. So I didn't really expect a lot because I know how athletes, how that thing works. By the time you 35, you a crocodile in the world of sports.
Yeah.
They start saying that, and you still young at 35, and they like, I don't know how many years he have left. Now, Nate Robinson.
Ask Tom Brady these days.
Nate Robinson was.
So, Dom, do you think it was worth the $1 million they each got for this?
Yeah, I think it was worth it. They have a name. They earned the money. You know, they are who they are. So I think it was still worth the $1 million. I mean, people tuned in. We watched it.
Yeah,
right.
We said everybody tuned in, and we know they 50-something years old. So we knew what to expect. Little old man brawl. You know what I mean? And them little brawls when somebody keep looking at the ref like you not gonna break it up. When are you gonna break it up? When are you gonna come in?
Tired.
We are wore out. We are tired. Roy Jones sat down like this. He looked like he wanted a Pepsi the way he said it. Yeah, give me a Coke. Mike Tyson tried to sit up there like that. I said, look at Mike Tyson. And then they said today, Mike Tyson said he was high the whole time. I believe that. Needed to be. Ain't nothing right. That's fine. But Nate Robinson, he was he's like the young people, like my niece and them say. You talk to my niece, I'm picking that up from them. Yeah, we went to the party and yeah, we hung out and we ate and yeah. I said, yeah, what? No, just yeah. What? So I was like, okay, I get it there. That's period for them. Okay, that's how they end it. And yeah. I said, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Nate Robinson, I'm gonna have to say, and yeah. Did somebody check on him? No, somebody need to check on him because the man has been demolished by social media.
Oh man.
Oh gosh, the memes
The memes
are
are
dragging.
so
I ain't gonna lie, I posted some too.
I did too, Coy. I mean, and then I don't like the people that come out and say, but you don't have the heart to go in there. I absolutely do not. And he should have realized he shouldn't have went in there either. Don't tell me not to laugh because he went up in there. He wanted to do so. He should have played baseball. He not that kind of athlete. He should have said, I'm going to try out for the Dodgers or somebody like that. And he knew he should have, when he got up that time rubbing his head for a whole 20 minutes, he should have said, I can't go no more.
Yeah.
That first one when he was doing like this, he was like, ooh. The ref said, you all right? He's like, hold up, man. It was over there. But he had to get knocked out with his head pointing to the right and his feet pointing to the left.
He really, like the way that he got knocked out, I thought he got paid to take that fall. I was like, you know, I got knocked out. Questions here.
Yeah.
Did he get paid? Because it was bad. It was really bad.
This one is bad when they got something called a Nate Robinson challenge. So it's a challenge of people just on the ground. He got a challenge. See, I saw a whole circle with a group of about 6, not social distancing or nothing. I said, oh, they laid.
It's bad when they took a freeze frame of him just as he was about to hit the mat and said, well, I guess you all are wondering how I got here. Let's start from the beginning. Like, it's bad there. But he's taking it pretty good on social media. You know, he thanked everybody for checking on him and he let everyone know that, you know, he did try his best and that he would continue, I guess, with his boxing career and that he was a good sport about it and the person that won should have won. So I do hope that, you know, he takes this and trains some more and comes out swinging in the next match.
No, he need to take off to about 2023.
Yeah, because that didn't end well. No, and it's gonna take that long to heal.
Every once in a while, he probably go like this. When he's sitting there, they like, you okay? He's like, I'm all right. My words just on one side. Let me get my words.
Good gosh. Oof.
My words just on the left side of my brain. I can't get. Never. And then you know, anytime with social media, but Snoop killed it to me.
Oh, that was the last thing I was going to ask.
Snoop was so funny. I said, Lord, this Snoop is something fun. And I was glad that he performed too, because that was taking me down. I said, now I don't know the old school rappers. I don't know a lot of them. But I mean, if you're going to have people rapping and doing that, Gladys Knight should have came out at one point. They are in their 50s. You know, I mean, how you not gonna have Gladys Knight? And she really should have sang after Nate Robinson. Love overboard, love overboard. I don't know what to do.
On that midnight train.
He needed somebody to sing him to sleep.
Sing him to sleep. But Snoop killed it. He killed it when he was rapping. I liked YG too. The other guys, I didn't really understand them a whole lot, but I did like YG. And I liked, of course, Snoop, you know, Snoop from my generation. But the other two, I couldn't really. Once they get the mumbling in there, I'm looking like, no. I come from a generation, though. Yeah, I come from a generation where, you know, like Tupac and Biggie, where people talk their songs out. So I kind of like rappers like that. Not that some of the younger ones are not like that, but if I can't understand the words, yeah.
So yeah. Okay, so
understand the words.
The last thing I want to know is, how did your social distancing show go?
It was really, really good. It was cold. It was very cold because, you know, here in LA, it gets really, really cold at night. It was really cold. Even though I tried to dress warm, it still was really cold. That was the only thing. But it was outside and they had all the chairs distance, and it wasn't even a big crowd. The crowd was like, I don't know, maybe 20 people. And there was space for people to stand up. But even in that standing up, it still was only like 5 or so people, 6 people or so standing back there. And it went good. And I was happy to be on stage because I, you know, usually even when I'm on the road, even when I'm home, I'm still doing stand-up. So that's the hardest thing for me. I'm still going out doing stand-up. So I don't get a lot of reps, as they say.
Sure.
So I was happy to go up and be able to put a show together. I said, they got me out here looking basic. You know what I mean? See? And but it really went good. And it was fun. I had a good time doing it. It was really fun. And I was happy to be up. I'm trying to find some more rooms to
So I
do.
was going to ask you, you think you'll do it again?
I'll do it again.
Yeah.
I'll do
Okay.
it. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
definitely do it again. Like I said, since they stopped sending the check, I was taking off the whole year. I said,
Yeah.
well, the government helping, the money stopped. They said, well, can you come? Well, yeah, let me pack my bag. And yeah, I'll be in Atlanta. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you, Don, for joining Coy and me today. As always, it's a lot of fun. I love the sisterhood and the fellowship that we have here, and the variety of topics that we got into
I had
today.
fun with you and Coy.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I had fun with y'all.
So Dom, people can follow you at Dominique Comedy.
Yes, at Dominique Comedy, DOMINIQUE Comedy. That's on Twitter and that's on Instagram, but on Facebook it's Dominique Comedian,
Okay.
COMEDIENNE.
And your
Mhm.
podcast?
Oh yeah, it comes on tomorrow. It's called Dominique the Podcast, and I stream it here on stream on Facebook Live, YouTube. So you can follow my YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube page
Mhm,
too.
mhm.
It's Dominique Comedy. That's my YouTube page. See how old school people say this stuff, Coy? Yeah, y'all can just run it off. Yeah, and yeah, my YouTube page.
Yeah.
Subscribe to that. It's Dominique Comedy, and it streams live on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can check it out. And I just have tomorrow my guests are Nard Holston from Atlanta. You know Nard, Coy, from the comedy scene? No, okay. Nard Holston and Bill Hill, the great Bill Hill from out of
Mm.
Detroit. So
Nice.
yeah, so we're
Tune in
gonna talk.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna laugh and we're gonna talk and we just have good conversation and we
You do
laugh and
have
laugh.
great, funny conversation.
Yeah,
As
we crack up, talk about our journey, talk about what it's like for us now. That is not a lot of shows. There are some shows, but not a lot of shows. And then some artists aren't willing to work, which is
Yeah.
understandable. Stand up there with a microphone with your mouth wide open in front of a bunch of people. I take my mic and everything. They laugh at me. I say, I don't know
I'm
where
not
they
mad.
where
But
they
Dom,
going.
but you were like that before.
I was. I
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been a germaphobe. See, I've always talked about I wipe it all down. When I show up on the trip, I got a whole bag of Clorox. What you need? You need alcohol. You need gloves. What is it that you need? So
I'm the same way. I used to
yeah,
pack cleaning supplies
yeah,
when I
yeah.
travel. Mhm.
And I
So,
check my.
ladies, I want to thank you all. Just to remind folks, tomorrow, please join us as we pay tribute and join with the southern area of the Links Incorporated at the launch of the HBCU Capital Campaign. Tomorrow is December 1st. That is Giving Day, National Giving Day,
Mhm,
and doing as much as we possibly can to kick off their campaign to support our historically Black colleges and universities. It'll be
mhm.
here on Facebook Live as well as YouTube Live. That is at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Tom Joyner is going to join us. We are very
Yeah.
appreciative of that. Jackie Reed is another HBCU alum who is going to be with us, and others. And we got more surprises for you. So please join us tomorrow. We will see you, and bring your credit cards and your checkbooks, as it were.
Yes.
Everybody donate to Jackson State University. That's where I went to school. Yeah.
Are you a
Yeah.
Tiger? Are you a
Yes,
Tiger?
I'm a Tiger. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Marching
Okay.
the sonic boom of the South. Yes,
You
sure did.
did.
I sure did.
I did not know that. Well, then
Mhm.
we'll be calling you after the show too.
Yay.
I dated Jackson State guys, but I ever went. Never mind. Anyway,
I didn't.
okay.
I just went to school, went to class, went to band practice,
And if
did
you
my
can help,
homework.
if you
That
can
was
get,
it, huh?
Yes.
if you can get us in touch with Dion, we'd appreciate that too. Okay. Today is the last closing thing I want to say is that today is the birth date of the great Shirley Chisholm. She was the first Black woman elected to the United States Congress and the first Black candidate for the presidential nomination of a major political party. Madam Shirley St. Hill Chisholm was born this day in 1924. And so we salute her on this day as we look forward to all of the Black women who are going to play an important role in this
Yes.
administration. Thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Love you. See you. See you
Love you,
guys
babe.
later.
And we will
All
see
right.
you all tomorrow here as we pay tribute and salute and raise money for historically Black colleges and universities. Go out there and be good to each other. Be safe. Be careful. And Coy, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you, darling.
Talk to you